Ideal, the ideal show. Purpose, mise en scene, connotations, camera shots, and basically the purpose of the show. We'll be discussing what Ideal by Graham Duff aims to convey in show. In this several-season sitcom based in Manchester, it's focused entirely on one dull and almost dingy apartment. It depicts the story of Moss and his hateful layer of friends in an emotional and awkward journey to get stoned. Let's keep this to the basics. We don't want to be blabbering on about one aspect of this TV show. Its purpose. Do we need to really spell it out? It's to entertain you. It's a comedy-based series directed by Mr. Duff and produced by the BBC, compiling of 7 series where there's only one focus, the apartment. With an array of characters entering and leaving every 10 minutes, it never shows the outside world and leaves it to the audience and viewers to create their own connotations. In terms of the comedic target audience, it depends on the personality of the viewer. Due to Ideal being quite odd and almost unnerving, the viewers will tend to be quite artistic, young, and probably laid back. Music. Music and sound effects are continuously used within the show to signify a change in mental state, a change in tone, and a change in scene. Jingles and odd soundtracks to address the scene and vibe allows the audience to feel their own way. Content. Let's talk about that. So with an Ideal, there are no advanced camera shots or angles. More so basics such as bird's eye, up, down, and basic techniques such as pans and B-rolls. Depending on the scene and situation, special effects and such as animated and warped visuals are used when the group engages on drugs such as MDMA and legal highs. Acting, the essential. Each individual and each individual actor has their own resin in terms of technique. Considering the entire 7 series based in a small, dingy apartment, a low number of actors and actresses are needed, ergo allowing them to explore and expand on their given character, merely becoming them instead of pretending to be. There is an example of this, Cartoonhead the Mute. Unlike his counterparts, he has all the characteristics of a human being, blood, flesh, skin and hair, but not a single clear identifiable emotion except for greed and disgust. This not only allows the viewers to create opinions, but it releases denotations such as clothing, posture, and much more which relate to characteristics. An example of this is strength. Let's continue with the idea of connotations and denotations. Where do they go? Once the drug buyers have left, what lives do they lead and what are their families like? All questions viewers will think but not ask. These are known as obvious connotations, the art of unknowing. Costumes, accent, and even intellect can all be signs of a characteristic. On the other hand, denotations are facts, something you can merely infer from a person, object, or scene. It's a matter of what you can directly see. Shows like this make it incredibly difficult to analyse connotations and denotations due to its lack of footage regarding a wide spectrum of places. My second analysis will be based on one of the best psychological horror films yet, Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder was released on the 2nd November 1990. Directed by Adrian Lyne and featuring Tim Robbins, it reached a pretty good damn score of 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Based during the 1980s, Jacob's Ladder depicts the story of Jacob, a Vietnam veteran who is exposed to severe drug abuse issued by the government in experimentation in hopes of altering soldiers' genes to improve their senses, strengths and whatnot, similar to Hitler's super soldiers during World War II. After returning to America, Jacob returned to a normal life. Or so he thought. Like his friends who fought alongside him, they all suffered the same fate. Though we aren't discussing the base of the story like before, we're going to focus on the viewer's perceives and conveys from the director's decisions. Connotations, spiritual, guilt and regret. What I've personally gathered from the movie. Throughout the movie there is a consistent reference to Jacob's son, a vision of what is before and suggests a lot. Obviously without the actual presence of his son, viewers can interpret that the son died in a crash, or he was killed by some unknown entity. This connotation is important as the backbone of the plot. It's a strong representation of guilt eating away at him, references to Greek mythology, references to the afterlife, or as it was his final thoughts before he dies. The title itself can be a connotation or a metaphor, ladder. Ladder itself merely implies his descent into madness as seen within the film, also found out at the end is the fact of the drug abuse. The chemist admitting to his discovery of the horrible delusional antidote, viewers almost begin to feel as if they're beside him. Denotations. Well, it's kind of obvious. What can they directly see? Demons, spawns of hell and scenarios bursting out of nowhere. Clothing such as his military jacket represents the past, his messy hair and showing a lack of self-care and his continuous foreshadowing such as the whistling of his son's favourite song all links in. These are the things the viewer can easily see and determine. Genre. It's honestly kinda basic. A psychological thriller / horror which usually relates to its target audience, those in need of a scare or merely interested in the development of the mental state. All strands of branches of characters will enjoy and indulge this film due to its individuality. Camera techniques. Well, one of my favourites are the broad wide shots which quickly change into the direct medium close-ups of what is coming for him. An amazing example of this is the first chapter. Filmed in a small alleyway, a car quote-unquote jumps Jacob and proceeds to swerve and weave in hopes of hitting him. Despite this, Jacob escapes, allowing the close-up of what was in the car, it obviously being a horrifying demon. These shots not only allow the viewers to assess the location and danger, but it demonstrates the severity of the situation. Other techniques such as close-ups demonstrate the character's initial fear. As basic as they are, the shots work and immerse the audience efficiently. Lighting. So, lighting in this film has no specific colour or balance. It's dingy, grey and disgusting to fit the scene, and which usually shunned upon. An awful white balance and sometimes bad exposure shows the gritty nature and lack of care his county has for its streets. Lighting has an effect on emotion. A warm lighting is not fit for this type of film, and despite at the end which demonstrates it to be a final and happy ending, or some may think. Alright, let's keep this short. Moving to the most important part, acting. Acting within Jacob's Ladder is beyond impeccable. Without any real coordination towards a specific acting style, Jacob is portrayed as weak, almost nervous, and a sincere man who only wants to forget. His lack of self-care and hygiene drives him towards what he hates the most, insanity. Everyone else in the film seemingly doesn't understand, only those who suffer the same reality do. And even they find it hard to understand. So that was a basic overview of the film and television program. Hope you enjoyed.